Alright, so we are going to take those gong sounds and we're going to put them in Ableton Live here and play them on the Xylosynth. So I'm going to show you how you can sample that and do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our track here. We're using this audio track and we're going to arm it. So we've done that, and then we're going to click this little button right here and record that sound. Alright, there you have it. We'll stop this track. And we've captured that sound. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just produce this a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is turn off the warp. That controls the time. We don't need to worry about the time in this. And the next thing we're doing is we're going to put the start point. So this part right here that is not a very good part of the recording, we're just going to cut that out. Move this over right to the top, and then we're going to zoom in just to make sure we get this start point nice and tight. So when we hit the Xylosynth, it instantly triggers this sound. That's why we're doing this. So we're going to get right where it starts. We'll zoom back out, all the way out, and then we're going to take this is the end of the sample. So I'm going to put it right here once it's right past that. The next thing we're going to do is just take this track and we're going to duplicate it. Now on this one, we're going to isolate this other stick hit sound that we have. So we're just going to do the same thing, bring this start point in, zoom in so we make sure we get it nice and tight. So we can see the waveform, and we just want to make sure that we have it right where we want, so that it fires the Xylosynth instantly. Alright, that should be good. So now we're going to just bring this in just a little bit tighter there. So, and then we're going to use a program in Ableton called Simpler. So we're going to grab two of these because we have two different sounds. We're just going to slide and drag and drop these right here. I'm going to expand them out a little bit so you can see everything. So with this program, it's really easy. All you do is you take your audio sample here. We're going to rename it. This is the gong sustain. And this one we're going to name gong with the stick. Very simple. Go back to simpler. We're going to take our gong hit and just drop it in here. So if we arm this track now, we're going to be able to play this song. So there we have it, but we have a little bit of a clipping thing going on there. All we have to do to fix that is to go down here to where it says release in simpler, and I'm just going to crank that up to basically 1.5 seconds. Now it's going to play our sound the whole way. Same thing, we're going to go over to this stick it, drop that in simpler, do the same thing with the release. We just need to arm our track. Sounds good. It's a little loud, so we're just going to turn the volume down. We can do that in simpler if we want, or just with our EQ. And then we're going to arm both tracks. Able to play both sounds at the same time. We will now set up the Xylosynth to do this overlay through different MIDI channels. First, press the Edit button on the right of the display and scroll down to the Patch Settings and release the button. The sustain sound is set to channel 2 in Ableton Live, and the stick sound is set to channel 3 in Ableton Live. We will now set the Xylosynth to channel 2 to fire the sustain sound. We are going to edit patch 199 by pressing the Edit button and releasing it when patch setting is shown on the display. Now scroll down to channel number and set channel 2 using the arrow down and right buttons on the front panel. Now scroll to Overlay mode and select On with the arrow buttons. Scroll to P Overlay Settings and press the right arrow button. We are now able to scroll through the overlay settings. We will set the top key by simply striking the Xylosynth with the corresponding key. We'll also do the same for the bottom key. Now we want to select a channel number and change it to channel 3 using the arrow buttons on the Xylosynth. Our overlay settings should all be complete for this, and all we need to do is press save. Now that the overlay settings are saved, we are ready to press the Edit Exit button to return to the performance mode. Now we are ready to play our instrument.